What I have in my hand now is the Mix Flip 2 foldable phone that Xiaomi just released. In terms of appearance, it doesn't look much different from the previous generation, but internally and in its details, there are many upgrades. So let's take a quick look. The color of the one we got is called Mother of Pearl White. Compared to the previous generation, the camera module has been changed to a metal ring, which echoes the color of the metal frame. In addition, the size, resolution, and refresh rate of the two screens have not changed. The inner screen is 6.86 inches, 2912 by 1224, 120 Hz with an anti-reflection film, and supports 2160 Hz PWM plus DC dimming, and even the same 3200 nits peak brightness. The outer screen is 4.01 inches, 1392 by 1080, 120 Hz, covered with Longines Glass 2.0, and supports full-range DC dimming. The biggest difference in light emission is that the outer screen has been changed from the original EcoRise 4-zone to a 3-zone design. This means that its entire back is finally flush. When folded, you can see the hidden microphone and speaker at the bottom. In addition, it is equipped with Xiaomi's Dragon Hinge. The rigidity has been greatly improved. Although there is still some unavoidable slight deformation during use, it is not as scary as the previous generation. However, this hinge is not a rigid body after all. If you hit it hard, it won't be able to withstand it. It's best not to do that in daily use. The overall width is 73.8 millimeters, the unfolded thickness is 7.75 millimeters, and the weight is 199 grams. The Xiaomi Mix Flip 2 has a built-in 5165 mAh battery, an increase of 385 mAh in capacity compared to the previous generation. In terms of actual battery life, playing Honor of Kings for 1 hour on the highest settings consumes about 20% of the battery. For a small foldable phone, this is a rather outstanding result. The Xiaomi Mix Flip 2 comes with a 67-watt wired fast charger and also supports 50-watt wireless fast charging. We tested the wired charging. In the unfolded state, it can charge to 22% in 10 minutes, and a full charge takes about 70 minutes. In terms of performance, the Flip 2, as the only Snapdragon 8 Elite small foldable, has an Antutu score of 2.39 million. The performance is undeniable, but due to its small size, it's inevitable that it will heat up during heavy gaming. In our test, after 1 hour of Honor of Kings, the average frame rate was 119 FPS. The peak temperature of the external screen on the back was 39.8 degrees Celsius. For summer use, it's still recommended to use a cooling backlit. In terms of external screen functions, the Flip 2 continues the design concept of the previous generation, introducing the zoning design concept into the adaptation of external screen software, continuing the gesture logic of the full screen phone, and further aligning the interaction with the internal screen. The number of third-party applications currently adopted has reached 500. This means that you can add most of the apps you usually use to the external screen to run. In terms of camera, the Flip 2 still has a dual camera setup, but it's changed from the previous generation's main camera plus portrait lens to an ultra-wide angle plus wide-angle lens. The main camera uses the Lighthunter 800 sensor, supports 10mm macro function, and has Leica imaging, so the colors are more natural and the dark noise is relatively reduced. But removing the telephoto lens and using a 50-megapixel Leica ultra-wide-angle means you can only rely on cropping from the main camera for telephoto shots. After 5x zoom, the detail smudging is quite obvious. In summary, I'll be honest, if you're hesitating about whether you need a clamshell phone, then you probably don't. At this point in time, the Xiaomi Mix Flip 2 is one of the few that is closer to what a clamshell phone should be. Okay, that's all for this video. We'll see you next time.